Hello, chicos and chicas, bienvenidos. And this is Andres.
Hello to the chicos and the chicas. First time ever we are going an IRL, as they call it in the trendy world of streamers, YouTube video. So, joined by Grandmaster Alex Colovic, legendary chessable author. Although I am the only one, sir.
I didn't bring my shirt.
Incognito, Mr. Incognito.
Incognito, yes.
Sir, I wanted to show you a game that I played this afternoon.
Ah, you played a game?
Yeah, and it features actually a couple of ideas that I come across in my coaching, and I really am curious to see what you think about certain points of this game.
Sure.
So I'm going to show you very quickly what happened.
All right.
And whilst I'm doing this, I don't know what your take on this is, but I always encourage my students to try to replay the games that they played when they show it to me by heart.
By heart, If they can remember, they should. Yes, of course.
Yeah, but I think it's a good practice to try to work towards that idea of remembering your own games, because
Absolutely.
I mean, there is so much we need to remember in this biz, right? So this is the bare minimum that we remember our own games, especially if it's a nice win. Anyway,
who played this crap against you?
Just some online battles. You know what's funny? That now I'm talking up like how you should memorize the game. Imagine if I forgot.
Oh yeah, that would be very nice. Yeah, really nice. Yeah.
Would be classic. Yeah?
Yeah.
So we are playing this French, I guess now.
Right.
So I played here knight c6.
Ah, but you could have played like
ding. Yeah.
C4,
Anish's course is not good enough for me. See?
No, yeah.
This is apparently Anish's course.
Is it?
Yeah.
He was mentioned in the press conference.
Twitter is all over it.
But I mean, this is like quite interesting because I mean, you get some space, and he keeps the bishop on the diagonal, but then further down the road you can just start advancing.
Yeah, I actually did reflect on this in my recap video because my students play these types of moves all the time when it's incorrect, right?
When it's incorrect.
I have got a fair few, like in the Slav structures, with white and early c5, and I always talk about the disadvantages of releasing the tension, but here it's very unique because if you go back this way to maintain the idea of b3, then you lose control this diagonal, and knight e4 is very handy, and it's easy play for black. If you go back this way, then you retain the control of that, but then b3 is no longer a threat. So c4 here is very clever.
Yeah, it's very interesting because it also gives some different flair to the position. Normally, like if you keep the tension, at some point these are exchanged, and you get with the IQP.
Yeah, which is exactly what I wanted because because that's another absolutely unjustified fear of many club level players. Why didn't you play this? I didn't want the IQP. Why not? Because it's bad. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
And then we go around in these circles.
I think what's very important, like for let's say club players to understand is that like the IQP, let's say even if you get the worst case scenario, which is like you get this good knight bad bishop scenario, right?
Yeah.
You take all off,
Oh boy, this is getting.
So you get this, right?
You should hold this.
And this is a draw.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's a fairly simple draw. You put the king here, you put your pawns on the square, something like this, and you hold.
Yeah.
Maybe a5, maybe not, or this is a draw.
Yeah.
And this is the famous game Flor Capablanca, you should look it up.
Mr. Capablanca right
Mr.
here.
Capablanca here, speaking with authority,
Yeah, indeed.
So this is a draw. So this should take away the fear of playing with an IQP, because even in a worst case scenario, good knight bad bishop scenario, you should know that you should be able to hold the draw. Of course, provided you have your pawns on dark squares. If you have them on light, then it's bad.
Yeah.
But if you have them on like dark squares, then it's a draw. Yeah.
This is a textbook case, Alex, of the one weakness, right? Like one weakness is not enough to win a game. You need at least two.
Exactly.
All right, let's go back all the way to the beginning, just to.
Yes.
I do hope that the board is visible. No. Okay, we can. That the board is visible. Alternatively, I will try to edit it and put something back on the top, but I don't know how to do that. Anyway, so check this out.
Okay.
So guy castles, yeah?
Right.
I play bishop d6.
Yeah.
Now, this would already be a problem for a lot of players to play this move on account of being afraid of the check, right?
Yeah.
And obviously you need to see a little bit ahead already here before you commit to bishop d6 about how you intend to deal with the check.
Yeah.
Now, after bishop d6, rook e1 check, I'm obviously forced to play bishop e6, right?
Which makes no sense to go back and lose the pawn.
Well, and even so, like, then why would I go there in the first place?
Exactly.
Right. Now, what are the two moves you think, Alex?
Well, knight g5 immediately.
Most lower rated players would be very scared of being in this position with black. What would be their number one fear?
Knight G5, I suppose.
Knight G5. Second fear?
Maybe just take Bishop G5, I don't know.
No, that's still to do with the pawn on with the bishop on E6.
With the bishop F5.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Right. Played.
I play. All right.
Now, when this happens, my observation as a coach, and I really don't want to sound condescending, but it is what it is that the number one candidate and the number one instinct. Nah, this is such a good moment. I'm not going to spoil it. Instead, I'm going to ask you first.
Okay.
You look at this with Black Alex.
Right.
What is your first go-to candidate move here? The first move you start calculating as soon as this lands on the board with Black. Say that again.
Castle.
And you just you just shrug your shoulder and you go like castles. And it doesn't matter how many times I ask you, you will tell me all the time castles or nothing, right?
Well, yeah, just castles because like you're fully developed, you want to speed it up. Okay, you sacrifice a pawn, but then you get open a file, piece activity, something should be there. Of course, you don't make this decision without calculating, but that would be the instinct.
But see, exactly, that was your instinct.
Yeah.
And this is the type of mentality that most club level players, even when they are improving and they're getting better at understanding dynamic chess, their brain is not wired for what you just did, right? Like instinctively, immediately you went for stuff the material, I don't care, let's castle, F-file, development,
something
let's go baby. And for that reason, what do you think that they knee-jerk reaction, the way how yours is castles, what do you think theirs is?
Here?
Yeah.
I don't know, defend the bishop, queen d7.
Exactly. So what you will find is that a lot of sub 1500 players, even 1800 players, would play here invariably queen d7. Now, it's not exactly something that I would call really bad, but it's a very good way to gauge the students' or the players' understanding of dynamic thinking. So this is what I like to call that this is when we need to rewire your chess, because the way how you are thinking and processing what's happening is fundamentally misdirected, right? Like you are going in the completely wrong direction from the offset, and then after knight g5
they go knight d8.
Exactly. So you end up in this position, and this basically features everything that we teach not to do, right? Like it's passive, it's defensive, and it's going backwards. And now, according to the machine, queen d3 causes a lot of headache because we can't castle, and h6 force for knight e6, and then bishop g6 check, and it's looking pretty ugly. Now, let's have a look at what happened in the game.
You know, just as you were talking, okay, I started to think a little bit like, okay, trying to understand like why is like my instinct to castle, and let's say the club player's instinct would be queen d7. And then I was just thinking like, how did I develop this perhaps instinct or feeling? And then I think it was mostly because like, okay, when I was younger and so forth, I was solving a lot of exercises, that's fine, but also looking a lot of games, like these open games like Morphy, I don't know, Steinitz in his youth, and like all these players, Anderson, yes, exactly. So they would just sack material, you know, and play for activity. But there were also good games afterwards, like you would get, I don't know, take the game Fischer Fine, for example, this famous one in the 60, Evans Gambit in the 60 memorable games. Strong players can play this type of games, even in modern times when given the opportunity. Mostly strong players don't allow these opportunities, but when they are allowed, like here, let's say bishop f5 going after material, they very willingly, and they have internalized this understanding that you should be able to sacrifice material for dynamic compensation. Yeah, so if suppose this happened, right?
Exactly, this is how the game went.
So if you look at the position, you look at this, like all queen side is like not developed. You have the open file like possibilities, knight e4, knight g4, attack the rook. Things happening. Yeah. So here, I mean, obviously do that before sacrificing. They attack. They actually do it when you go bishop d6.
Exactly. I planned all of this at this point.
Exactly. So this is like what you do. I mean, if you're worried, you put the bishop here. But if you really want to be ambitious, then you go, I want to put my bishop on the best possible, most active square, and you see the critical line, but then my king gets attacked, I have to cover, then bishop f5, and then you start calculating at this point. So you're still calculating here, and then while you calculate, you visualize this position, right? You visualize this position in your head.
Exactly.
And while still thinking about bishop d6, here you try to visualize and calculate a bit further. Like, what are my attacking possibilities here? What can I further do? Should I go knight e4? Should I go knight g4? Should I go queen d7? These are the moves that come to mind like at first instance. And then you try to explore these active possibilities, and if they work, you go for it. That's how the thought process should be.
Very good. I would like to offer you 2 comments here.
Yeah.
Morphe is always my go-to when I tell these club level players that one of the things that coaches I think don't teach well enough, or they don't put enough emphasis on, is to study Morphe very early on. Very early on, Morphe games hammer it really hard to develop this kind of understanding. And the other thing that I think is going to resonate with you really well, because you know your chess history like crazy, is that I like to talk about a chain of chess, I don't know how to call it, evolution of chess. In terms of these
how the game develops.
Ideas, and I like to list the names Morphe, Alekhine, Tal, Kasparov. That is my chain of dynamic, aggressive, attacking chess being played with the same spirit, the same mindset, but always a little bit renewed, a bit refreshed, a little bit adjusted.
And on a higher level,
always,
together with the development of chess.
And still, at times of Kasparov, and even now, you know, these principles dominate our game. Now, what did I play here, sir?
Well, yeah, this is already, I mean, okay, 94, the candidate moves for sure, Queen D7 also. CD4, I don't know.
I don't even know if I played the best move here, but I played one of your 3 candidates.
Those are the natural ones. Yeah. But before we continue, just one last thing I wanted to mention.
Yeah.
I think players do not trust the position when they get this type of position.
So correct.
When they get this type of active position and active possibilities, they don't trust the position that there should be something there. And when you don't trust, then you don't look for it hard enough, and you don't find. But if you trust that there's something here, your intuition tells you something is there, then you look for it hard and deep, and then you don't give up, and you will find something. So this trust in the dynamic potential of the position should always be there if you want to find these attacking possibilities.
Adding to that, and this is perhaps another bridge that a lot of players find it difficult to cross. If you look at this position, objectively speaking, Black does not have an attack. Yet,
exactly.
But what you see as a very good player, and what I see as a decent player, is that we have all the necessary ingredients for the attack to develop, to evolve from this position with almost 100% certainty.
Yeah,
and that's where the low-rated players struggle, because they look at this, they go like, "Where is my attack? I lost a pawn, no attack. Can't do." And the game basically ended here in a matter of super duper quickly.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. This. Okay. Some calculation. Okay. I mean, if knight g4.
It's no attack immediate. I'm sorry. I played 94.
94. Okay.
Because put your pieces in the center.
Queen d7 to trap the rook.
Right. And here my opponent completely lost the plot. But that is, again, I should have said that. I'll play a move which was played, and I want you to put your best facial reaction to it. Okay. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah. Whoa.
Thank you. That was exactly it. You see, 0.6 seconds, and the Grandmaster goes like, "There's no way in hell
no, this can work.
That is a good move." Why is that?
Nah, I'm just too loose. I mean, look, you can't just invite all these complications and everything when your pieces are not playing.
Exactly. So you just look at it and you instinctively
my instinct was, okay, it should be something 92, but then Queen d7, maybe to check the exchange, get a pawn or something, defend.
Best line.
Exactly.
Best line.
There you go.
Best line for white. Exactly what you just said.
So that was my instinct. Okay, just trying to kind of get back into the game with the pieces. Just introducing this kind of
it's basically
is like
inviting you to a fight when you have a nuclear bomb and they have got a kitchen knife, right?
Exactly. Or their hands are tied behind their back. I mean, look at the pieces, playing without pieces. But this, okay, now, wow.
Look, from here on out, everything wins. But obviously, I went for the most thematic
Alright, that would be
takes. Can you guess how the game... I'm pretty sure you can figure out the rest of the game in its entirety.
For example, bishop h94, bishop h2, queen h4, stuff like that?
Yeah? Can you go a bit deeper?
Yeah, okay, 94, takes... King h2 check, king g1, queen f2, king h2, queen g3 maybe, king g1, rook f2, maybe some mate.
Yeah, that's one of the
lines. Yeah.
One of the that actually might be better than what I did. So takes happened, and of course pattern recognition.
Sure.
Zero thinking.
Yeah.
Takes has to be captured because king h1 is met by knight f2 and family fork. King f1 is also rook f2, queen h4. Can't city.
Okay.
So capture played, check played. Now you pointed out this rook f2 thing. I didn't even think about it.
Queen f2 first.
Like so played.
Or queen g3. I'm not sure where.
Yeah. So I think this might have been a mistake. So I'm suggesting check followed by rook in.
Yeah, and I don't see how.
Yeah, and that's mate on g2. I missed this.
Yeah, how does he defend mate, right?
I mean, queen f3 is only legal move, right?
Yeah, but then you just
So somewhat ashamed that I went instead check,
okay.
came back, and then I played knight g3.
But okay, that's also
well, after knight f3, I only won the queen and the rest of the queen side, but
good enough.
Good enough, right?
Good enough. Come on.
Good enough.
Yeah.
So I would like to go back to the critical position, which was bishop f5. And I want to tell you something that I have been observing now in some of my students' play. When it comes to sacrificing material or losing material. So a lot of people don't see themselves materialistic. Right? Now, would you agree with me that if I play here queen d7 and then I play knight d8, that is the definition of materialism,
probably,
right?
But I would say the core reason why they would play this is fear.
Oh, of course, fear. And I always say it on my channel too that fear is the worst advisor in chess. Don't ever give in to fear to govern your decisions.
I don't know if you've read this famous book, especially in Russian Soviet circles. Okay, Master and Margarita.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean, I have a really good quote from that one. It says, "Fear is the worst vice." And it's really,
I didn't recall that it was in Master.
Yeah, it was there. I mean, somewhere there. It's a book, So I remember, and I wrote it down for myself. Fear is the worst vice. And chess, absolutely. I mean, if you play with fear, you can never win.
But hear me out, because there is a theory that I have fabricated around this. So these people don't perceive themselves as materialistic, and they don't see that this is nothing but materialism because they should have given up the material. Because here there is in my opinion, that's a newly found theory of mine, and to demonstrate the full point, I will show you something. So the exact same people who would play knight d8 there and not see themselves to be materialistic, they would never ever do something like this. Right? Because they know that this is materialistic. I am not supposed to eat my opponent. But see, the difference here is that it's them capturing the opponent's stuff. And they know that they are not seeing. You get my point slowly but surely. So it's their stuff. I'm not meant to take it. I will refrain. But when it comes to when it's my stuff, they don't have this mental transition that that's the same concept. Except it's just that now your stuff is getting captured, but it shouldn't be.
It's curious,
right? So it's a very interesting human concept of you're quickly taught in your life that if it's somebody else's, don't touch it. It's not yours. You're not allowed to. But at the same breath,
if it's yours,
then you have to hang on to it. It's yours. Your parents don't buy you clothes because they want you to give it away, or buy you toys or whatever. And in general, humans, I think, are programmed to try to defend their materialistic belongings, right? And so it's very easy for any chess player to very quickly come to terms with we don't play 400 queen moves to take b2, right? But they just leave it hanging on e6 and castle, man. Oh, that is
this makes it complicated. I understand that.
It took me a fair while to be able to.
No, but it's a mirror image, basically.
To catch this phenomenon and to verbalize it. But I think it's such a powerful message that it's the same concept. It's materialism. It's just reverse on whose stuff is getting captured and
exactly.
Whose stuff.
It's actually quite good. Never thought about this, in fact.
Right.
But very, very well noted,
Cool. Good. Well, let's call it Alex here. Thank you very much for joining me for this one.
It was a pleasure.
We might do another one, but I will stop recording now.
Sure. Good.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.